These are the Dragons. 5 multimillionaire investors on their way to the den. There, they will once again make or break the business dreams of dozens of budding entrepreneurs.
I think you need to wake up and be a realist and listen to what people are telling you.
It's just almost impossible to assess whether or not you can make it profitable.
You've actually given me nothing to actually hang my financial hat on.
You are saying to me that my brand is twice as good than even IBM.
Just pause a second so I can say I'm out.
The Dragons know what they're talking about. Now 5 of Britain's most enterprising and wealthy business people, they built up their fortunes from scratch. James Caan made his millions creating a global business in the recruitment industry. He now heads an international private equity firm. Glaswegian entrepreneur Duncan Bannatyne's £310 million business empire includes hotels, casinos and health clubs. Deborah Meaden earned her fortune in the holiday and leisure industry in the West Country. Theo Paphitis is a retail magnate who's transformed the fortunes of high street brands like Ryman, La Senza, Partners and Contessa. Peter Jones has built up a multi-million-pound empire with a business portfolio that ranges from telecom and leisure to property and media. In the den, the Dragons are ready to back the right businesses with their own money. But tonight, will anyone convince them to invest? Welcome to the Dragon's Den, where once again cash-hungry entrepreneurs are preparing to face the fearsome dragons, all hoping to convince them that their business ideas are worth millions. They'll face tough questioning, but if our multi-millionaire dragons see a money-making opportunity, any of the entrepreneurs could walk away with the investment they need and a deal that could change their lives. Leslie-Ann Simmons from Dorset is first into the den. She's already sold over 20 franchises and now hopes the Dragons will invest £100,000.
Hi, my name is Leslie-Ann Simmons and my company is called Shoes Galore Limited. I'm here today to ask the Dragons for an investment of £100,000 for 30% of my company. Shoes Galore is a mobile shoe company selling shoes, bags, belts and accessories, mainly by party plan, into corporates and other such events. Our shoe styles come in a minimum of 4 colours. So unlike the high street, where you will get blacks, browns and a few colours, with Shoes Galore you get an array of colours. We have pinks, oranges, blues, yellows, purples, and the party plan shopping experience, women with shoes, with their girlfriends, a glass of wine, it's like a feeding frenzy. It's totally orgasmic. Forget sex in the city, we've got shoes in the city. I launched the company in April 2007, and since launching, I now have 21 franchisees from Glasgow down to Exeter, selling shoes, bags and belts, mainly by party plan. It enables my franchisees to work around their family commitments without expensive childcare costs. I believe that Shoes Galore is a unique investment opportunity, and I open the questions from the Dragons.
I'm going to go and have a look.
Yeah, no, please do.
Leslie-Ann Simmons' colourful shoe display has lured Deborah Meaden into a closer inspection.
Quite comfy, actually. They're too big for me, but quite comfy.
But will a 30% stake in her Shoes Galore party plan franchise be enough to tempt one of the Dragons to part with £100,000 of their own cash?
Leslie, hello, I'm Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Do you have that effect on women, Peter?
Sorry, I'm shaking a bit. Hello, Peter.
Are you a bit nervous?
I'm just a little bit nervous.
What? It looks like, strangely, walking into my partner Tara's closet.
Excellent, because women love shoes.
A lot of shoes.
A lot of shoes. And the one thing that we don't have in the UK is that we don't have a selection of colours. If you go to Italy or Spain or Europe and you go into any of the boutiques or any of the shoe shops, you get an array of colours.
Okay, let's talk about the business. You've got 21 franchisees and
Yes.
you've had that now going for 12 months.
Yes.
How much to become a franchisee? What do you have to pay?
We have 3 packages. Our startup package is £3,900.
So how successful has it been? What's the numbers?
For the first year, I turned over 196,000. My gross profit was 126,000. And my net profit for that year was 6k.
Let me have a look.
Yes, certainly.
Leslie Ann's bubbly pitch seems to be underpinned by healthy sales. James Caan is interested in hearing more detail.
Leslie Ann, hi, and James.
Hello, James.
Hi. What's your projections, Leslie Ann, going forward? So if we were to invest in this business, what sort of returns are you forecasting?
In year 1, we would be looking at 330,000 in total sales.
And year 2?
Year 2, 700,000.
And last year, year 3?
The big 1 million.
Ah. And these are kind of numbers that we just kind of take.
No, not at all.
I'm
no,
sure there's
because
a lot of science to it.
There is a lot of science.
Okay, so
but
what sort of profits does the business forecast to make?
gross profit of 60 and net profit of 20
In year 1?
in year 1.
So if I was to invest 100 grand, that's not kind of that exciting, is it? From there?
No, but I think I'm being quite cautious in the number of franchisees that will grow with the business because, as you know, every franchisee, it's the first couple of years to get it moving. I think I've done exceptionally well to get 21 franchisees signed up in the period that I've done. It shows that there is a strong market for what Shoes Galore offers. There's a lot of women out there that would jump at this opportunity.
Despite projecting low net profits initially, Leslie Ann is confident in the market potential of her business. Now, retail guru Theo Pafitis wants to know how she plans to use any investment.
If I decided to part with £100,000
Yes, please.
of my lovely kiddie's inheritance,
Yeah, no, I've heard that one before.
You've heard
You
that
use
one.
that time and time
exactly.
again.
What is it that you would do with it?
£100,000 would be £16,000 extra would go into finding a full-time wholesale person in our warehouse. Staff. 24,000 on marketing. 10,000 for travel trips because I think that I'm missing out on not going to some of the big shows over in the Far East. And £50,000 to put into stock.
And how much stock are you holding at the moment?
£65,000.
Sorry, how much?
£65,000.
How much of that stock is
Current,
out?
good, and how much is old?
I think about 40,000 is current good and the rest is dead stock.
25,000 is old stock.
Yeah.
Leslie Ann's rainbow range of shoes might make her distinct from her competition, but it's alerted Theo Pafitis to a potential problem with her holding of stock.
Let me just help you, Leslie.
Okay.
An old retailer once said to me, old stock doesn't get more valuable.
No, it
The
gets
longer
less
you keep
valuable.
it doesn't get more valuable. Your first loss is your best loss. Holding old stock, you're paying rent, rates, lighting, heating to store it.
I totally
You should.
agree.
That's why stores have sales. I'm so desperately trying to find ways of backing you.
Please.
I'm failing. And I think the thing that's just brought it home to me as well, knocking out some of my numbers. One size, one colour is a stock keeping unit.
Yeah.
So, if you've got 5 colours
Yep.
and 7 sizes, now we're talking 35 SKUs on a range. And you've got 20 franchisees. That's 700 pairs of shoes. Your stock holding, the more franchisees you get to be able to service them, is going to go bananas. You're going to be eating up cash so very quickly. And I would ask you to sit down and do some projections on this, because you could end up thinking you're doing really well, and without realizing, you end up overtrading and you won't be able to carry on.
Okay.
So, I'm afraid, for those reasons,
Okay.
I'm out.
Thank you.
It's a well-meant warning, but a stern one. If Leslie carries on expanding as quickly as she hopes, she'll have to commit more and more money up front just to maintain the variety of her range. This would be spent before she's able to recoup any cash from selling shoes. It could easily mean she runs out of money. It's cost her one dragon. Now Duncan Bannatyne is ready to have his say.
Leslie, let me tell you where I am.
Okay.
I do like you. I think it'd be great to work with you.
Thank you.
But I just feel that it's just almost impossible to assess whether or not you can make it profitable because of the problem with your stock. So I'm going to declare myself out.
All right.
Leslie, let me tell you where I am.
Okay.
Of the people I see in the den, you are certainly somebody who I could get very motivated by investing in. I think my nervousness is that even when you do make a profit, I can just imagine we're going to have to write off that profit on stock that isn't selling. And I'm genuinely quite scared of businesses where the risk on stock is as high as this business is. So for those reasons, Leslie, here it comes.
I'm out.
I'm out.
An irrepressible Leslie Ann is shedding dragons by the minute. Will Deborah Meaden or Peter Jones see a way past the issue of stock and throw her a £100,000 lifeline?
I hear what everybody's thought about the stock. I can see stock being an issue. And is my £100,000 going to go in to buy more stock? And the answer is yes. So Leslie, I just can't invest in you.
Okay.
And it's a real disappointment, actually, because I've potentially exciting opportunity to invest in you, and I wish you every bit of success. In a way, it's a shame that you didn't perhaps ask for £50,000, because then the punt is really there, and you could back a horse for that sort of money.
Okay.
I can't invest in you, so I'm going to say I'm out.
Okay.
But I wish you every bit of success. I hope it goes well.
Thank you.
Leslie, I was in danger for a minute there of breaking a rule of mine, and a rule of mine which says if I'm not convinced about a product, don't be convinced by the person, because however good that person is, they will just end up spending their energy on something that is intrinsically not good, when actually if they went out and spent their energy on something that was fundamentally a good product, they'd actually make a lot of money.
Thank you.
I think it's actually a shame that you've come here with this. I think with something else. But I'm
I don't
afraid...
know whether I could put myself forward again.
I'm very worried about those stock levels, and so should you be. So I'm afraid
Okay.
for that reason.
All
I'm
right.
out.
Good luck,
Thank
Leslie.
you.
With her bubbly personality and eye-catching product, Leslie Ann managed to win the dragons over, but failed to convince them to invest. She leaves the den with a smile, but without the money she came for.
I think your over-trading statement was bang on.
Yeah,
this is
that's
a very
right.
easy business to do that in.
Dead easy to overtrade, and that's what will happen to this business.
The dragons often find themselves surprised by weird and wonderful business ideas and inventions. Adam Arbour and Charlie Bradshaw from London wanted them to part with £50,000 for a share in their soft toy company and its range of roadkill animals.
They're not your usual toys, they're roadkill toys. He comes in a body bag, keeping him nice and fresh and maggot-free. He has zips on his sides through which you can pull out the blood and guts. And like roadkill, our products come in many different shapes and sizes.
Their unusual proposition prompted Peter Jones to ask Adam, the designer, a rather personal question.
Do you live on your own, or do you still live with your parents?
No, I live with my wife.
You're married?
Unfortunately for the duo, some of the dragons struggled with the basic concept.
So it's funny to have a product of an animal that's been squashed by a car.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, guys, I don't find it very funny at all.
I don't want to lose a sense of humour over it, but I feel very uncomfortable with the subject matter of this, bearing in mind that I'm also working alongside organisations to promote the welfare and well-being of animals.
Ultimately, Theo Paphitis squashed any hopes of investment when he discovered that Charlie had another business.
Charlie, how much does your business turn over?
About £8 million a year.
Charlie, go and do a song and dance act.
Theo, I can assure you
Because it ain't
that
working.
all of our funds are tied up in other projects.
Charlie, 50 grand is not a huge amount of money when you're turning over £8 million. pounds. I tune them out.
The Dragons like a company with a trading history, but they'll always ask tough questions to ensure it's the right kind of history. Can our next entrepreneur, PhD scientist Ming Yuan from Oxford, walk away with the £40,000 he needs?
Hello, my name is Ming Yuan. I'm here today on behalf of Light Emotions, asking for your investment of £40,000 in return for 8% share equity in our business. Light Emotions design, manufacture, and sells our glow-in-the-dark glasses. Our start products are disposable plastic champagne flute, tumblers, and shots in 7 different colors. Our glasses are safe for drinking and passed all the food compliance tests. The business has been running since July 2006. In the first 18 months, we produced a turnover about 400,000 euros. One of our major clients is a world-famous champagne brand, Moet & Chandon, which has so far bought over 80,000 pieces. With giant financial support and marketing expertise, will bring Light Emotion up to the next level. Thank you very much for listening. I'd now like to offer a glass of champagne with our lighting glasses.
It's an eye-catching finish to a poised pitch by Ming Yuan. He's looking for a £40,000 investment to develop the retail sales of his patented glassware with its liquid-activated light-up feature. He's offering 8% of the business, and one dragon is keen to get the conversation going.
Ming,
Yes.
你好嗎?
哦，很好，谢谢 Peter.
I think it looks, at the outset, fantastic.
Thank you.
Is this a registered patent?
It's patented in UK, France, Germany, and China.
And the company, does it own the patent?
Yeah, the company owns the patent.
Okay. How many have you sold in the last 12 months?
The business started from the July 2006. In the first 6 months, we sold 74,000. In 2007, we sold about 200,000.
200,000. What's your margin in the UK?
Oh, we got about 20%. Yeah.
What do they sell for?
To distributor, we sell it just over €1.
€1.
Yeah, €1 each. The retail price in their own countries is about $12.99 for a pack of 4.
Ming's figures seem to be stacking up, and Peter Jones can clearly see the potential for an investor to make money. James Caan steps up to continue the questioning.
Hi, Ming.
Hello, James.
Your forecast for 0809 is how much?
We expect, of course, we want dragons on board. We
Yep.
expect 400,000 in year 1, 600,000 in year 2, and 780,000 in year
And the
3.
profit in year 1?
It's all roughly at 20% net profit.
Okay, so it's 80,000 profit in year 1.
Yeah.
In year 2, you're talking about 120,000.
Yeah.
And year 3,
140.
has the company got any loans or debts or anything like that?
No, we don't.
Okay,
we
so
start making profit right from the beginning.
Ming,
Yes.
you can have a little one
Okay.
to look
yeah.
at.
Ming's painting a picture of a successful startup. A patent in place, no debt, promising sales. Is it all too good to be true, wonders Duncan Bannatyne.
Tell me about you.
I'm a scientist by training.
You're a scientist.
I got my first degree and master's degree in Chinese university. I got my PhD from Oxford University. From 2001, I start working in business.
What business?
In China, we have a factory in Nantong City. We also own business park in Nantong.
So you own the whole park, not just the factory?
Well, it's basically my wife and I.
Yeah, okay.
We own
So wait a
100%.
minute. So you and your wife own a company that owns a business park, and that company is going to rent the factory to the company you want investment for?
Well, it's already been running for over 18 months now, and it's paying its rent as a leasehold.
For this business, I'm going to decline, so I'm out.
Thank you.
It's a sudden setback for Ming. The revelation that he operates a separate company taking money out of this business in rent has driven Duncan Bannatyne away. Theo Paphitis has some pressing concerns of his own.
Talk to me about the disposal. It's a great hit. We're producing hundreds and hundreds of millions of them. What happens to them afterwards?
Well, the plastic can be recycled easily.
How? With the battery inside?
At the moment, there's no straightforward answer to that because there's no mature recycle technology to recycle lithium battery.
I do not like the idea that once you've gone to a function, they have a drink, you have thousands of these, then they have to be collected, probably vanfuls, and then dumped into a landfill with batteries in there.
The technology is in developing to recycle everything.
Ming, I'm going to find it impossible to invest in you, so I'm out.
Dissatisfied with Ming's green credentials, Theo Paphitis has refused to invest. And unfortunately for the entrepreneur, Deborah Meaden is about to tear another strip off him.
How many other similar products are there out there?
In terms of this technology, no.
I was selling light-up drinks in these
Yes.
probably 5 years ago, in a product that you banged it on the bottom and the light came on. Yeah?
Yeah. We
So
actually...
you know of that product, do you?
Not in glass.
No, in this. It's very similar looking to this, except it didn't have the white plastic. In fact, it probably looks slightly prettier.
Our technology is unique.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. But actually, I
Because-
don't care whether your technology is unique as a customer. I just care about the end result. So that's one thing. The other thing is nobody is getting rich over light-up glasses.
Well, there's a definition of what is getting rich. I mean, if, in your case, maybe £1 million. It's nothing. A year.
You're not going to do that, Ming. Because once people have seen it, they think, oh, brilliant, fantastic, never do it again. So I'm afraid for that reason, I'm out.
3 dragons out, and Ming's bid to secure a £40,000 investment for an 8% stake seems shaky. Peter Jones initially seemed impressed. Will the concerns of his rivals deter him from backing Ming?
I don't have the same issues. I think the product's good.
Thank you, Peter.
I'd buy that for my children's parties, a bit of fun. It's all, I can see the whole party atmosphere. You can produce it in China. I think you have a potentially good business.
Thank you.
The fact that you're benefiting and you own the premises is a thing that I would like to look at, because I think that there's a potential conflict of interest, the fact that you own those premises. But Ming, I'm going to make you an offer.
Oh, thank you.
I can see the product in lots of retailers. I know quite a few retailers that would take the product. I'm going to offer you £40,000. That's all the money you're asking for. But I want 30% of the business.
Unswayed by his fellow dragons' criticisms, Peter Jones has offered Ming the money, but for nearly 4 times the amount of equity he wanted to give away. Only James Caan is left in. Will he go head-to-head in a bidding war?
I understand what everybody has said, but I think one of the things that you said that interests me is you are a scientist. And I think any limitations or any problems that the product may have, there'll be a number of evolutions in this product, and I believe this is not a short-term investment. This is a long-term relationship.
Exactly.
So I would like to make you an offer, Mick, and I'm happy to match Peter's offer. So I'll put up the £40,000 for 30% of the business.
The 2 dragons have gone head-to-head. Now can Ming take advantage of the situation and negotiate a better deal from the rival investors?
James and Peter, would two of you offer the £20,000 each for 25% of the business?
Ming, I'd be very happy to work with James. I can deal with some of the retailers. James also has connections in the retailers, so you're getting double your buck, basically. But I prefer not to drop the percentage. If you were to get both of us for 30%, you've done pretty well. I don't know what James thinks.
I think if it was a bigger investment, Ming, but I think for 40,000, you know, it's not much to share. And to turn this into £1 million a year business, my view would be you're probably better off having one and getting their focus and their attention.
Can I have a minute to...
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
James Caan has resolutely refused to share his deal with Peter Jones, and neither dragon will reduce their equity demands. Ming must now decide which of them, if either, he wants to do business with.
I really like both of you. It's a big decision for us. 30% of our business is big decision. Just by instance, I would say I like Peter's offer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Ming may have divided the den with his product, but he leaves it with the money he came in for and a very well-connected dragon in Peter Jones. Well done, Ming. You can go and celebrate with some champagne in one of your disposable glasses. Are you happy?
Oh, yes, I'm very happy, yeah.
It's interesting that the dragons were unusually divided on it, though, because while you had two offers, at least two of the others thought it was really not a good product at all.
Well, I disagree with the technology is not that new, because we got a patent, and it can be used and applied in other liquid-activated products.
But you see, I think, actually, James and Peter liked you as much or more than the product. Would you like to work with Peter on other things if he's really interested in getting beyond the little disposable glass?
Exactly, yeah.
Ming, very well done.
Thank you very much.
Every entrepreneur who enters the den believes their idea can make millions. Hazel Ives from Nottingham brought a rather nervous friend into the den, Marcus Hansen.
Oh, come on, monkey. Dragons don't bite.
The odd couple were asking for £100,000 for a 20% share of Monkey Trunks, an outdoor high-wire adventure course based in the USA.
Monkey Trunks was born 9 months ago when I spent my child's inheritance by selling my house and purchasing 13 acres of land in order to put up the first high-wire adventure centre in New England in the United States. With your investment, what we'd like to do is to put up a woodland course and a small version of this for children under 13.
Duncan Bannatyne thought the whole idea was bananas.
Have you ever had an experience in business before, Hazel?
No.
Never had your own business?
No.
So, when you start your first business, you decided to start a business, how many miles away from your house?
About 3,000.
How long did it take from your house to there?
18 hours.
Leisure industry expert Deborah Meaden was also dubious about the geography.
The number one rule for me is it the right location?
Yes.
I have no way of... I don't know this area. I have absolutely no idea whether or not that will work. The trouble is I'm not sure you do either. So, I'm afraid I'm out.
And Theo Paphitis couldn't find a hook for investing.
So have you had a midlife crisis?
No, I haven't.
It seems like it. You've actually given me nothing to actually hang my financial hat on.
Okay.
So, I'm out.
Thank you.
Ed Ray from Brighton hoped he could whet the dragon's appetite and secure £180,000 to launch his barbecue invention, designed to solve an age-old summer problem.
On a traditional grill barbecue, you put the food on the grill and it burns, and then you pass the burnt, uncooked food to all your party guests, who then go home with food poisoning. The barbecue is different because you have the individual skewers that just rotate very slowly, and because they rotate slowly, the food cooks more evenly. So you get the best ever tasting barbecue food you've had in your life.
Impressed with the taste of Ed's barbecued kebabs, James Caan wanted to grill him on his figures.
And what does it cost?
So this costs £299.95 retail price.
Okay, it's quite expensive actually.
But none of the dragons got fired up by the business potential in Ed's invention.
It's a great idea. But there is a problem. You can't patent it.
No, all the ideas have been patented.
Correct. So your competition could bring one of these out for next summer at a fraction of your cost.
We do have intellectual property.
Worthless.
And we have the trade name barbecue.
Worthless.
In the end, it was left to Peter Jones to pour water over Ed's investment dreams.
You're unfortunately one of these guys that has got a dream and living it, but you're not a realist. And I think you need to wake up and be a realist and listen to what people are telling you. On that basis, that's why I'm out.
Cheers, thanks.
Only one pitch tonight has seen the Dragons part with their cash. Coming up, will any of these plucky entrepreneurs manage to convince our multimillionaires to invest?
It's not something you should give up your day jobs for.
You are actually telling us you've got nothing unique.
It looks, at the outset, fantastic.
Next into the den is 26-year-old Peter Hopton from Sheffield. Now, the Dragons often take issue with a high valuation put on a business, so can they be persuaded to invest £250,000 for a mere 5% of Peter's company?
Hello, Dragons. My name's Peter Hopton, and I am from Very PC. Very PC have come here today to ask you for £250,000 for 5% of the firm. Very PC manufacture the world's most energy-efficient computer equipment. At the moment, the entire IT industry is responsible for more CO2 than the aviation industry. And a normal home PC has a power consumption of around 100 watts, or in some cases, as much as 200 watts. Very PC designed green PCs with a three-step system. The first, economy. We design our machines to be more energy efficient and better in that respect than normal PCs. For example, the Triton PC here replaces a home PC, like for like, and only using 29.6 watts of electricity on average. And this is a green server, using half the power consumption of even the most energy efficient servers from big IT companies. The second point is ecology. We design our machines to be recyclable as much as possible. The third point is performance. The machines perform like the computer the customer would have purchased anyway, providing huge amounts of electricity savings and also an ecological point of view. Very PC have been trading for 4 years. We have grown significantly since winning some major national and international awards, such as the PC Pro Award there. At the moment, we're looking at growth of 30% quarter on quarter. Next month, we're hoping to turn over £100,000, and our margins are better than expected for the IT industry. So, any questions, Dragons?
Bold claims about his green credentials, confident of his financial performance. Will these be enough to help 26-year-old entrepreneur Peter Hopton secure £250,000 cash injection from the Dragons in return for just 5% of his Very PC IT firm?
Just give me a bit more detail. So if I go to PC World and I buy a monitor with a PC in today's market, what am I going to pay for that?
I'd imagine maybe £300 or so.
Okay, and the equivalent from you would cost what?
Maybe 330, 350. Not a lot more, definitely.
Okay, so between 10 and 15% higher.
Yes.
Than the kind of high street comparison.
Indeed.
Okay, and your projection for this year, from a profitability point of view, is what?
Okay, if we looked at the year end, which is actually the end of February, showed a turnover of £368,000.
Yeah.
A gross profit of around 120,000.
Yeah.
And a net profit at the bottom of about 24,000.
Okay. Apply that same 12 months going forward now, February to 09.
We'd expect a net at the bottom of 100,000 or so.
Although Peter seems happy with his figures, an investor would struggle to make their £250,000 back with just 5% of the business. Meanwhile, technology expert Peter Jones has been looking increasingly disgruntled.
I'm Peter. Hi.
Hello, Peter.
You value your business at £5 million. How do you justify that?
We've talked, obviously, with a number of people previously about investment.
Are they in this country, or are they living on another planet?
They're in this country, indeed, yes. Not
are
on
they
another
human?
planet at all. They are. They're VC and private equity firms within the city.
And they were willing to invest at that level?
They were looking at it seriously.
And why didn't they invest?
We were very open and very honest with them about.
So you were honest. So you told them that this is a
we told
pretty
them
averagely crap business, and there's no point in
definitely
investing.
Not averagely crap. It's got a very, very strong brand.
See, what's annoyed me is that I know this market very, very well, and you're sort of 20 years behind. And actually, you're calling yourself green, and I'm actually almost insulted by it. You're about as green as a carrier bag.
Right, and why's that?
Because if I was to install now a system which was one server with 54 screens on a desktop,
yes,
I would be far more green in your eyes than your system.
The problem with that...
Is that not correct? So one server... 54 terminals...
54 terminals. The service power consumption is going to be around 300 watts.
How many screens do you get on that desktop?
7.
How many do you need for 54 terminals?
For 54, you'd need 8.
And what's the total output?
8 times 60.
So you're not greener, are you?
However...
No, sorry, no.
The heat from these units will be in the office.
Peter, don't avoid...
You understand me?
You're making me...
The two Peters are locking horns in a technological battle of wits.
You've got signals you're not considering. You've got the switch gear you're not considering. And
I don't need switch gear to put a 54-dumb terminal system into a building.
High-tech accusations are flying all over the den, and very PC's green credentials are being called into question.
Dumb terminals are RS-232.
OK. Fair enough. You could run the RS-232. It'd be a bit of an old-fashioned way to do it.
I could do it, though, couldn't I?
After the toing and froing, a confused Duncan Bannatyne had his say.
Peter, I didn't understand everything you said, but
Okay.
I'm 100% behind you, and I believe everything you said.
Thank you.
Wasn't talking to you.
Fair enough.
Peter, I've never had such rubbish in my life. I'm out.
Peter has received short shrift from a scornful Duncan Bannatyne, who declares himself out. Now, an agitated Theopophetus wants to know where the intrinsic value of the business lies for an investor.
What's in your PC that's proprietary that makes your business worth £5 million?
Don't think of this as a technology investment. This is a brand investment. But you have also the technology and the know-how from our design team that have produced all these great products that have won numerous awards.
Right, so I'm going to ask you the question again.
Okay.
Try this time to answer it.
Okay.
What's in your PC that's proprietary that makes your business worth £5 million?
Nothing at all. It's all off the shelf.
So you've got nothing that's proprietary.
Well, except for maybe the BIOS and the software that we program into the machine to further reduce the power consumption, which is our own.
But Peter, I can say you've come into the den today and you've insulted my intelligence to the level which I'm seething with rage. You've said, I've got nothing unique, but I have a brand. And my brand is called Very PC. I know none of you have heard of it, but trust me, it's very, very valuable.
I haven't assumed that any of you have not heard of the brand. I would have expected maybe one of you to have heard of our brand, given the exposure we've had, at least.
Right, before I finish, has anybody heard the brand?
No.
Right, Peter, I'm out.
It's Peter's second roasting by a dragon. Is marketing expert Deborah Meaden about to make it 3 in a row?
This brand that's worth £5 million, is this the same brand that's producing £24,000 in net profit?
Indeed. It became a big brand in December when we had a huge amount of...
No, this is not a big brand. Please stop referring to it as a big brand. The only value of a brand is the cash it can generate. There has to be, it's capital. This is generating £24,000 in net profit. The brand is not worth anywhere near £5 million.
The thing that's unique is our design, and a design that politically cannot be copied by large IT firms.
Just pause a second so I can say I'm out.
Sure, please do.
I'm out.
Thank you.
Peter has clearly riled the multimillionaire investors, and his pitch is spiralling out of control. James Caan steps in to have his say.
I run a private equity firm, so I understand the conversations that you've been having. Private equity deals in fact and reality, and I'm giving you the benefit of your projection and saying that you said you would deliver a profit of £100,000 and a £5 million valuation. My maths are not great, but that's 50 times earnings. IBM is not on 50 times earnings. You know, if they were lucky today, they might be at 20 times earnings. But you are saying to me that my brand is twice as good and more powerful in financial terms than even IBM.
Then please do make me a counter offer and I'll consider
I'll tell you the offer I'm going to make you, Peter. I'm out.
Okay. Peter?
It's mutton dressed as lamb. You know, you must be very disappointed in your own personal performance.
No, not at all. I think I've done very well today in countering your questions.
This isn't very PC, it's very poor. And I think you need to understand and go back to the drawing board of what you really want to do with your business. So on that basis, I can't invest, and that's why I'm out.
Thank you, everybody.
It's a crushing finale to a stormy pitch. Peter Hopton never recovered from the Dragon's initial belief that his company's valuation was massively overblown, and he walks away with the sound of fury ringing in his ears. Well, Peter, that was obviously pretty atrocious. What's your diagnosis as to what went wrong there?
Well, first of all, I'm rather appalled and disgusted at the fact that they called us not a green brand. Our claims have been independently substantiated by a number of people, from charities to industry experts. Ethical firms find it very, very difficult to get investment in the UK. Because, really, any private equity or venture capitalist firm believe that ethics and business quite simply don't mix.
I don't think that was their issue, Peter. But you put up a good fight.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Entrepreneurs often think the best way to the Dragon's cash is through their stomachs. Sisters Tanya Smith and Melanie Snowd brought their individually designed biscuit bouquet business, Kooky Cookies, into the den in an attempt to take £80,000 of the Dragon's own money for a 25% share of the company.
3 years ago, my sister Melanie was in hospital. I looked on the internet to try and find her a gift. I came across a site in America that made cookie bouquets like this, but couldn't find a UK producer. So I got my pots and pans out, decided to make one myself. And after 6 months of making a complete mess in our kitchens, we finally perfected a way to make these cookies and cookie bouquets.
Thank you, Mel.
The sisters had brought the Dragons their own individual cookies.
That's a lot of handsome fellow on here, isn't it?
That's exactly what we thought.
The Dragons were clearly impressed by the product. Theo Paphitis was keen to see if the figures would entice him to invest.
Have you sold any?
Yes, we have turned over just over £22,000. Our net profit was £8,500.
It's not something you should give up your day jobs for.
We actually did quit our day jobs to do this full time.
Ah.
We are all or nothing girls.
In the end, Tanya and Melanie's determination won them support, but it wasn't enough to secure them any cash.
I think this is a product that works fantastically from home. but I'm not convinced it's an actual business.
I think you're fantastic. I think what you've done is very encouraging. It's very entrepreneurial, but it's not an investment, so I'm not going to invest, so I'm out.
Thank you for your time.
Lovely
We
to
do
meet
hope
you.
you enjoy your cookie.
We'll try. Thank you.
Where there's an idea that helps money to be saved, the dragons know there's money to be made. Our next entrepreneur thinks his product is the perfect example of the rule. But Michael Cotton from Essex needs £250,000.
Hello, my name's Mike Cotton. I'm from DDN Limited, and I'd like to offer you 20% of my business for £250,000. Every year in the UK alone, between 150,000 and 200,000 people accidentally misfuel their diesel cars with petrol. The financial consequence of this leaves them with a bill from anything from £250 to recover the vehicle and drain the tank, to £12,000 to replace the engine and replace the fuel system. Should the car drive away after misfueling, it will fail. Perhaps quietly by the side of the road, or perhaps in the fast lane of the motorway. So there's clearly some financial and some road safety issues. Now we at DDN have designed, patented, produced and developed a misfuel prevention device that retrofits into your existing vehicle without tools or talent. The actual device, when fitted, will physically stop the narrower nozzle being fitted into the larger diesel filler neck. The market for diesel vehicles in Europe is 78 million. In UK alone, it's 11. So if you'd like to help us stop people wasting money on avoidable motor repairs, contribute to road safety, and get even richer, we'd like you to join us. Thank you for listening.
The dragons have listened intently to Michael Cotton's clear and concise pitch for £250,000 for 20% of his patented misfuel prevention device for motorists. Before looking into the business opportunity, Theo Paphitis wants to make sure he's understood it correctly.
This is to stop people putting petrol into cars that take diesel.
Yes.
And that happens how many times a year?
Between 150 and 200,000 times a year, according to the AA.
What would stop somebody else developing a similar product?
We're patented.
Has the patent been granted?
Yes, granted in March.
And when you did your searches, what other similar products came out?
Most of the other products are a dual flap system, but none of them actually retrofit and use the same securing system as we're using currently.
And you're assuring me now there is no other patent pending, granted product in existence via retrofit.
There isn't currently anything.
Theo Paphitis' thorough scrutiny hasn't fazed Michael. Now, James Caan wants details of the potential market for the device.
So who's buying this?
Emergency services, ambulance, police, small fleets, anything ranging from 100 units to 5,000 units.
And what sort of volume are you selling to the fleet market?
We started selling 2 months ago. We've sold 1,944 to date. In our business plan, we wish to sell 30,000 in the first year. 30,000 will bring us a turnover of 1.5 million. It'll give us a gross profit of 1.261 million. A net profit of 980,000.
You're selling this product at the moment wholesale, is that right?
Yeah, we're wholesaling it.
So you've been wholesaling
2 fleets.
At what price?
£50.
You've been wholesale at £50. That's why you get 30,000 times £50, £1.5 million turnover.
Michael's businesslike approach and confident answers are gaining the respect of the dragons. But he's asking for £250,000, a huge sum even by the den's standards. Deborah Meaden continues the cross-examination.
Vehicles coming out now,
Yes.
are they manufactured or produced with a restricting device?
Ford have a restricting device that they brought out on the 2008 model cars, and they will run that into their new vehicles. We're not looking for a new market fit. We're actually looking for the 78 million that are currently in Europe.
OK, does anybody else do a fit at manufacture?
BMWs and Ford do, and some Range Rovers. A very small percentage of 957,000 cars. Very small.
The dragons are concerned that future sales of Michael's retrofitted device could shrink rapidly if new vehicles roll out with their own integrated misfuel preventers. Peter Jones thinks he has an answer to the problem.
Mike, why wouldn't you safeguard your business model and go down a licensing option? In other words, just take a £2 royalty for everyone introduced in a vehicle.
We might well end up doing that. Thanks for the advice.
Because I think that would be
more valuable. It'd be far more valuable doing that and than anything else, because you then have a cash flow just coming through with doing nothing.
Mike, I'm going to tell you where I am, because I'm not going to waste your time insofar as it's a shame that you didn't come in and ask for less money.
Right.
Because if you had, you would have made it very attractive to go down a licensing option.
Right.
But because of the amount of money that you've asked for, it's not an investable option for me, unfortunately, so that's why I'm out.
By ignoring the new fit market and focusing only on the retrofitting of his device, Michael has lost his first dragon. But Deborah Meaden is reserving judgment until she finds out more about his potential sales.
How far have you got in making contacts?
We're currently trialling with 35 different fleets. They have 517,000 vehicles in their fleet that are diesel.
Anybody said it's brilliant, I'm going to order 3,000 of them?
Yeah, we have got letters of intent from some of the large leasing companies saying that it's a wonderful device and that they would be recommending it to their people.
If you've got to that stage and you've got letters of intent and you're in trials and everybody loves it, why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
Because we can't, none of us, there are 4 of us involved in the company, and none of us have run a large business. Now, this could be very, very quickly an enormous business.
So there's 4 of you owning what parts?
25% each.
Why are you here on your own?
Because we thought it would be better to present as one person.
So your whole reason for being here is you would like one of us to put £250,000 in and then help you run a business.
You open a lot of doors. We can't open it. Nobody knows who I am on the end of the phone.
Michael's considered responses are impressing the remaining 4 dragons, and Deborah Meaden is ready to make her move.
Mike?
Yes.
I have to say, I think you've got a really good product here. So I am going to make you an offer because I think you're the full package. So I am going to offer you all of the money, and I want 35% of the business in return.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's all the money Michael needs, but it'll cost him nearly double the equity he was originally offering. But 3 other dragons are still in. Will James Caan be willing to enter into a bidding war?
Let me tell you where I am, Mike. I like it, and I think I do have a little bit of experience of buying and selling businesses in this specific space. So what I'd like to do, Mike, is I'd like to offer you half the money for 15%.
Right.
So, Mike, you would need somebody else to offer half the money for a similar amount. How would the 4 directors feel? Because their shares would be diluted to 17.5% each.
Yeah.
How would they feel?
They don't want to do that.
What is your remit? What's the maximum you can reduce to? What's the maximum you can accept?
We want 20%.
Do you have authority to accept £250,000 for more than 20%?
Yes.
You have. What's your limit?
25.
So you can accept £250,000 for 25%?
Yep.
And that's your maximum remit?
That's it.
The other directors wouldn't support anything else?
No, that's fine.
25%, but you can't do a deal.
In an unusual twist, Michael has revealed he has a rigid limit on the amount of equity he can give away, enshrined in a mandate with his 3 other directors. His 2 existing offers exceed that, making them irrelevant. An annoyed Deborah Meaden doesn't usually negotiate down on equity. Will she have no choice but to break with her self-imposed rule this time to secure the deal?
Very nice of you not to say no in the first instance, but you probably should have said that when I said 35%, because the truth of the matter is you were going to say no. So, and I do like up front, I do like to know what I'm...
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What I'm dealing with. Originally, I offered you all of the money for 35% of the business. But if my risk reward is lower, then I will make a re-offer based on half of the money. So we're talking £125,000. Yeah, for 12.5% of the business.
Thank you very much.
Deborah Meaden has chosen to fall into line with Michael's mandate. But under Den rules, he gets nothing unless another dragon is prepared to offer the other half of the money. Theo Paphitis has been unusually quiet. Now he's heard enough to make up his mind.
Mike, you're very keen to have a dragon on board, aren't you?
I think it's a huge commercial advantage having a dragon on board. I'm under no illusion. I'm not patting anybody on the back up here. You know how good you are. The value of that to us, it opens doors. I'm not going to phone up somebody in Ford and get through.
See, I think you've got a tremendous product.
Thank you.
And if all the answers that you've given me are correct, and I have no reason whatsoever to doubt you, then you have a winner in your hands.
Thank you.
On that basis, I will offer you all the money for 25%, or I would be quite happy to share it with Deborah.
Thank you.
At 12.5%. Choice is yours.
Thank you.
Empty room, filled it up, talk is cheap, listen up, I don't know where we went wrong, but I feel I'm shaking these walls, yeah, nothing safe, gotta take cover, instead of love we just make glitter, running and running, yeah we got off track, now we under attack.
Michael now has 2 new options, but Duncan Bannatyne has been working out where he stands.
Mike, I have written down on that piece of paper the minimum shareholding I would accept.
Sure.
And it would have been 30%. So the offer you got from Deborah and Theo is better than my offer, so there's no point me trying to make an offer. I'm out.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. James.
Okay, what I'll do, Mike, is I'm happy to offer you all the money.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to come in with your mandate. I mean, if your mandate's 25%, it's 25%, so I'm happy to accept that. And the only condition I would put on that is that in the event that the business makes a profit of 250, I, the preference shareholder, would receive that first.
Right. Okay.
Do you understand that?
You want your money back first, and you keep the shares?
Yes.
Can I think about it? Can I just walk away
Go
for a
to
minute?
the back. Mike, go to the back.
Michael has 3 offers to choose between. Theo Paphitis on his own, or in partnership with Deborah Meaden, and James Caan on his own, but with the proviso he gets his money back first. Tensions between rival dragons are running high.
James, you can't say to people, I want all my money back.
Well, I can say what I want, mate. I mean, it's my money. If I want to offer that, I'll offer that.
Right. First of all, thanks ever so much for your time, all of you. It's been very interesting. Thank you, James, but it's too much your way. So I'd like to say thank you and yes to both of you.
Great.
Oh, we're back on again. We're back on again.
It's not often the Dragons meet a match for their tough negotiating, but Michael has come as close as anyone. He walks away with a small fortune in his pocket, as well as 2 well-connected dragons on his board. So, Michael Cotton walks away with the highest investment ever pledged by the Dragons. Another day in the den and a record broken. Now, if you want to know your USP from your RRP, you'll find a very useful Dragon's Den glossary at bbc.co.uk/Dragon's Den. Goodbye. Next time on Dragon's Den, Deborah Meaden sees red.
No, I'm not wrong, Michael. You're asking me. I'm giving you my answer. That means I am correct because it is my answer.
And James Caan can't make the numbers add up.
I'm not good at maths. What is 40% of nothing?
It's nothing.
Now remember the woman with the shoes. Leslie Ann Simmons, the Dragon's first victim this evening, reflects on her experience in the den and how she's fared since on BBC Radio 5 Live tonight after 11. Now, would Michael Aspel and Davina McCall lie to you? Find out next here on BBC Two.